What's going on, everyone? This is the kid here, DC Wrestling, back at it again with another video. Hope everyone is having a wonderful Sunday night. I hope everyone has had a wonderful weekend. I thought my weekend's been pretty good, okay? You know what I mean? Like, I thought I had a pretty good weekend. Uh, not really doing anything, mostly relaxing. There's obviously this online schoolwork has been crazy, but we working with what we working with. So I was thinking about today, what video should I make? Like, what video should I make? Should I talk about something that's going on in the wrestling community? But nothing really big is happening as of like today in the wrestling community. So I thought that I should just do another Royal Rumble review, in preparation for the up and coming 2021 Royal Rumble match that will be taking place on January the 31st, 2021. I thought that it would be, just well if I did another WWE Royal Rumble 2015 review. Another Royal Rumble review, but like you just heard, I am doing the 2015 Royal Rumble review. Also, if you haven't seen my last Royal Rumble review, it was the year from 2013 that was headlined by The Rock versus CM Punk and Cena winning the Royal Rumble. I did a review on that. If you want to go see that, check that out. And if this is your first time on the channel, subscribe to the channel. Comment on what did you personally think about, the Royal Rumble 2015. And obviously, I think, looking at this event, watching this event over again, I think a lot of people could be in the agreement that this show was not really an amazing show. Like this show was just not that good, to be honest with you. I mean, you had one great match, which I'm about to get into, but this Royal Rumble match was considered by many people to be one of the worst Royal Rumble matches of all time, especially because of who won the match, which I'm about to get into. But let me get into it, man. 2015, man, was pretty okay year. It was an okay year, actually. You had the Authority, you had Rollins winning the WWE Championship, cashing it in one of the best WrestleManias of all time, WrestleMania 31, especially of this current era. You had the John Cena U.S. Open Challenge. I believe this is the same year, I believe, the Dudley Boys came back. Or was it 2016? I think, because what I remember, they came back in like the night after SummerSlam, I believe it was. So I think it was this year or 2016. I can't really remember. But, like I said, man, 2015 was an okay year. We also saw Sting, obviously, come back. Sting having his first match in the WWE, which we all know Sting's run in the WWE was, it was nothing. It was just nothingness, unfortunately, because Sting is one of the greatest WCW wrestlers of all time. Anyways, I'm not going to waste any more time here. Let's get into it. To kick off the night, we had a tag team match. We had the Ascension versus the New Age Outlaws, which you had the Ascension defeating the New Age Outlaws. This, to open up the show, man, this was, this is like the 2010 tag team division, because back in the day, like, WWE's tag team division was like so horrible. Like, they were so horrible that the matches were like 3 to 5 minutes, like 2 minutes, something like that. And with this match was obviously boring. I mean, the match lasted for 5 minutes, 25 seconds. I mean, like, at least the Ascension won. The New Age Outlaws. I remember when they, came back. They won the tag team titles, but then, they got squashed by the Shield, and just. Well, that was at Mania 30. But I don't know, man. This match, I didn't really care for this match, obviously. So not a really good way to kick off the night. The next match, we had another tag team match, Playa. As a matter of fact, there are 3 matches on this card that are tag team matches. You got the Usos, Jimmy and Jey Uso taking on Damian Mizdow and The Miz for the tag team championships. The Usos retaining their tag team championships. Looking back at it, I guess it was solid. It was meh. It wasn't that good, but it wasn't bad, like overall bad. You know what I mean? Like, I thought this was a solid tag team match. If we go back to 2016, man, Damian Mizdow was just like Damian Sandow, but Damian was just over with that Mizdow character. I mean, like, he took that character and legit made it like something. Like, when he turned on the Miz, I actually thought that he could have won the Andre the Giant Battle Royale, but obviously the Big Show won it because the Big Show is kind of our current Andre the Giant in this era. But at the same time, you had Damian Mizdow, who was over as hell, and the fact that I don't really remember him winning a mid-card championship, because if you look back on Damian Sandow, he wasn't really that bad. He was doing something with that Money in the Bank, cashing in on John, and then John, beating him. But it is what it is. But Mizdow was so over in this case. All right, so you had another tag team match play. This was a meh match. You had the Bella Twins, Brie Bella, Nikki Bella, taking on Paige and Natalya. This was during the time where Nikki Bella was, just starting out her longest reigning Divas Championship reign of all time. Didn't really care for it. I guess it was meh. Like I said, I guess it was meh. I love Paige. I think, Paige, overall, had a pretty good career. It just sucks that she had to retire like very early in her career, because in my opinion, she was just starting to reach her peak. You know what I mean? Like, she won the Divas Championship, obviously just a year prior to AJ, and just like, man, but it's crazy because now when you look at all those 4 women, and Natalya is out of the 4 is the one still wrestling. The Bella Twins partially retired. Paige, we obviously know, was retired. And now we get on to what is the best match of the night. This was one of the best matches of 2015, actually. This match was an amazing match for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, the triple threat match for the title. Brock Lesnar, who was the champion at the time, taking on Seth Rollins and John Cena. This match was, in my opinion, better than the Royal match, and that's saying something. The fact that the world title match was a world title, but still was better than the Royal Rumble match. That's your biggest match on the show. That's your pay-per-view. That's freaking unbelievable, dude. And this match just goes to show you, man, that Brock is so well, working with others. Rollins was amazing in this match. Cena was amazing in this match. I'm kind of glad that they added Rollins into this match, even though he already had the Money in the Bank briefcase at the time. Because if it was just Brock versus Cena, like, part 4, part 5, something like that, we would have got the same, match, Lesnar dominating Cena, and then Cena mounting to come back, and then, and then Rollins probably would have came in anyway. So, something like that. So, the fact that it was a triple threat match, it was amazing. Jamie Noble and Joey Mercury were also amazing as well in this match. This was overall just a really good triple threat match, and I highly recommend. You need to watch this match. And even if you already have, go back and see it, man, because this match was absolutely amazing. I think just a few days ago, WWE actually posted the match on their YouTube channel. So even if you don't have the network or just simply don't want to go on the network, then you can even go on WWE's YouTube channel and watch it. But this matchup was just absolutely amazing. Now we get to the main event. We had the Royal Rumble match to see who would challenge Brock Lesnar for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania 31. And obviously Roman Reigns won. Well, he eliminated partially the Big Show and Kane to win it, but then, they came back in, were beating the hell out of Roman, and then The Rock came out, saved Roman. Rusev came back in because Rusev was never eliminated, and then Roman eliminated Rusev. Roman officially won the 2015 Royal Rumble match. Like I said, man, this match was one of the worst Rumble matches many people in this decade But I will tell you this, man. Like, they had so many different people that could have won the Rumble. You had Ambrose, who was a favorite. Bray Wyatt was a favorite. Ziggler even, I believe, was a favorite. That lets you know how popular and favoriteable Ziggler was at the time. So it wasn't just Reigns. I mean, I knew Reigns was going to win it, but you just had those few other guys that were, if some strange happened and Reigns, didn't win it, you would have had those others. But the biggest favorite, the one guy who everybody wanted to see, everybody, was obviously, of course, Daniel Bryan, because I believe I believe it was 2 weeks before the Rumble, Daniel Bryan came back. He was out with an injury, and he was back. He was Eric Bischoff. I'm back, and I'm better than ever. And Daniel Bryan was like, "Yo, I'm back. I'm entering the Rumble match, and I'm winning it." And the moment that Daniel Bryan came back was the moment that everybody decided to turn away from Reigns and move to Daniel Bryan. Because if you think about it, before Daniel made his announcement, everybody was like, okay, so I think we can all be in agreement that Reigns is going to win, right? Reigns is going to win the Rumble. Reigns is going to face Lesnar at Mania. That is the match that Vince is going to do. But then Bryan comes back and everybody's like, oh, fuck no, no Reigns versus Lesnar. We want to see Daniel Bryan versus Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 31. But then Roman Reigns wins it. And then Daniel Bryan, who wasn't even a runner-up or at least a top three, at least, the last three, I should say, in the Rumble match, he gets eliminated halfway through the match. I don't even think it was halfway through the match, because Daniel Bryan was number 10. I think he was like entry number 10, something like that. And he lasted for about 10 minutes, so not even halfway through the match. He lasted for at least 10 minutes in the match. He got one elimination, and just like that, he was eliminated by Bray Wyatt. So, I don't know. It's just ridiculous. Now, I think he was entry number 12. But anyways, it doesn't matter what entry it was. He got eliminated, and it wasn't even halfway through the match. And if you watch the whole match back over, everybody was starting to boo. Everybody was getting pissed. Everybody was just like, social media was not too happy, obviously, with Daniel getting eliminated like that. And then, oh, Jesus, it's just crazy, man. Jesus. So, yeah, it's crazy. It is crazy. That lets you know how much that Daniel Bryan, like, really, like, a lot of people really wanted Daniel Bryan to win the Rumble. But yeah. Now, here's my personal opinion. I am actually not mad that Roman won the Rumble match. Even years later, I'm not mad that Roman won. Daniel Bryan, here's the thing. People understand Daniel Bryan, massively loved by the WWE Universe. But, Daniel Bryan had his moment at Mania 30. He had his story. He overcame the odds. He fought the Authority. You're just running that story back, but this time you're just running it back with Brock Lesnar. And then Brock Lesnar, who doesn't really show up a lot, obviously. He doesn't. So, like, it's the whole story, it's just going to be Paul Heyman, and Daniel Bryan the most time cutting the promos on each other most of the time. Brock won't show up until, like, the go-home show of WrestleMania on Raw. Ridiculous, because that's what happened with Roman. It was just Roman and Paul cutting promos on each other. Which obviously set the seeds of what we know now is Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, which is pretty cool if you think about it. But it's just crazy, man. Roman and Brock, it was, in my opinion, it was best. Now, we did eventually get Daniel versus Brock at Survivor Series, which we all know, which was absolutely amazing, obviously, just amazing. Even though Daniel Bryan was a heel and wasn't a babyface, it was still amazing. I just think it felt like, in my personal opinion, Roman. But at the same time, I'm not mad that people didn't want Bryan to win. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't be mad if Bryan ended up winning, because, like I said, Bryan was over. Bryan was over as hell. Everybody wanted Bryan to win again. But if you would have the future vision and able to go back and see what would happen, because Daniel Bryan did win the Intercontinental Championship, and then what happened immediately after that? He had to give up the championship, and then not only give up the championship, but he had to retire. So if he did that against Brock, and we all know how huge Lesnar is about, with the suplex. We saw how he dropped John Cena at SummerSlam on his neck, not once, not twice, but 16 times. And then you want Daniel Bryan, who just came back from neck surgery, then he's going to get dropped on his neck hard by Lesnar. So, you know what I mean? But, it is what it is. And then, obviously, we all knew Daniel Bryan retired. He made the comeback, yada, yada, yada. But, I don't know, man. Roman and Brock at the time, it just seemed good. And, even though Daniel and Brock wasn't the main event, Roman and Brock, which to this day is probably their still best encounter, Mania 31 was great. The whole execution about the match was great. Rollins coming in, great. Because obviously nobody in Levi Stadium wanted Reigns to win. Great. Everybody wins. So, this was one of the worst. And, Roman and WWE, God, this just proves that back in the day, man, they just really booked Roman, like, really bad. Like, they really, like, the whole, the promos they were giving him, Suffer and Succotage, Beanstalk. It's just, God, man, you gotta stop giving Roman Reigns these terrible lines. You know what I mean? You gotta stop booking him like this. But now look at it. Fast forward to 2020, man. Where Roman and Daniel could be happening at Mania. You know what I mean? Like that. Think about it. That's crazy. So, anyways, man, that's my Royal Rumble 2015 pay-per-view. I didn't really care for it, to be honest with you. I really didn't. This was a horrible event. Like, if you take away the triple threat match, this Royal Rumble match would have been probably the worst Royal Rumble match to date. But because there was some good, and some good was the triple threat match, obviously, and I guess Roman winning the Rumble, and poor Rock having to come out and hold up Reigns and still get booed, and even The Rock was pissed, like what the fuck, you know what I mean? So yeah.